First of all, I think that you are a genius and also a hero that is rescuing us from a cruel system, and for this reason, I really admire you and your work. I would ask you only three questions that I'd like to share with other people at the Movement of Life blog that I'm going to start in cooperation with Paul and Lee Taylor and Jose Cerula. First question. What is the most important things that has pushed you to go on and continue in this direction despite all the obstacles and difficulties you have dealt with?
Well, thanks first for your interest in this work and my life. When I reflect on the last quarter of a century, when I've been put in this role of leading this battle, the single most important motor of making me do this and go on despite all the difficulties was the knowledge that I'm right, the scientific facts that were indisputable. And it was just a question of time until they would be accepted. So if you are carried by the truth, you can move mountains, not just in science. If you're convinced about something that carries everything inside you, your heart, your mind, your soul, it is a very strong force. And that was what drove me to tolerate and overcome all the obstacles that have been put in the way.
Okay, thank you. The second question, have you ever been afraid that this very big and amazing project could fail?
No. I was never doubting that one day the truth will be accepted everywhere in the world. The only question was when. Would I be still around when that happens? In other words, would it happen during my lifetime? And I remember that Dr. Natswicki, the head of our research institute, and we spoke several times about that 25 years ago. Are we going to see the change happening? Are we going to see universities do research in the area of micronutrients in the fight against cancer and heart disease? And we were not sure. We were thinking, well, maybe the opposition is too big. The economic interests, the status quo against us is too powerful. But they were not. As I see it happening now, there is a huge transformation happening on a global scale. Big research institutes, universities around the world are embarking on investigating the role of micronutrients in fighting cancer, heart disease, and others. So, as of today, I'm amazed how far we could bring this process. And I'm convinced that we will still be alive when this knowledge about the possibility to prevent and reduce heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer, osteoporosis, diabetes, and other diseases will be accepted and will be practiced in the hospitals and doctors' offices around the world.
Next question. Who are the people you would thank for the incredible person you are and for the huge challenge you are struggling for?
Well, I would need to go back a little bit. The first people responsible for who I am and who I became in life were my parents. And they set a good role model for me and my sisters to not just take, but also to give. To not just have, but also to be for others. Without those roots, I would not have been able to go that path. And then along my scientific career came several scientists who influenced my path. One of them was a two-time Nobel laureate Linus Pauling, who became very close to me. And I remember one day he told me, Matthias, the more I observe you, the more I see myself at your age. What he meant with that was that he felt the fire of knowing more, of not just settling for what science had provided until then, but being inquisitive and not accepting anything except the limits that you set yourself. And he's become very influential in helping me to decide on the right paths in my professional life, leaving conventional medicine and going into the new type of medicine that will govern the 21st century and beyond, which is our understanding on the role of cellular regulation, the fact that health and diseases are decided at the level of not the organs but the cells, that the most important reason for cellular malfunction is a deficiency of micronutrients, that we can correct this deficiency by knowing which micronutrients to take, and thereby, of course, help to prevent diseases. This basic knowledge will save millions of lives. And I'm very happy that you're here today asking me those questions, because the relay has to be passed on to the next generation. My life's work would not come to full blossom if it would stop now. It will come to serve its purpose if your generation embraces it and makes sure that you accept it in order to live in a world with much less disease than today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It has been an honor and a great pleasure to meet you and speak with you. I strongly believe in this project and in a better world, and I'm sure you and we will win this struggle. Thank you very, very, very much.
You're welcome.